Hello, my name is Eric. I'm Eviator in the Galactic Civilizations forums. I want to demonstrate the bug that's been bothering me that I mentioned in my forum post, and I'm going to be doing this on version 0.71.1. I tried 0.72, well, whatever the opt-in is, and all the buttons were missing text, so I decided to revert. Generally speaking, the bug that I'm encountering is an overflow issue, where in Galactic Civilizations 2, if you were to complete production on a building or a ship, and there was still some leftover production, that production could be applied to the next item in the queue. And that is not happening in Galactic Civilizations 3. And as I mentioned, it seemed to be a surprise to the developers whenever it was mentioned in the dev streams. It's pretty simple to demonstrate. I'm going to go ahead and just queue up a few different options, or a few different buildings here. I'm going to go ahead and change my sound because it's too loud. And set my production appropriately. Basic factory should complete in 2 turns. And I'm generating currently 23 manufacturing. Well, actually, let's get this right here. Okay, 23.3 production per turn. And the cost of a factory is 30, so it should take 2 turns, which is what's indicated here. Indeed, it looks like it's going to take the 2 turns. As you can see, I'm about 70 to 75% of the way through the production of this building. I still have 23.4 production left, or for the next turn, and probably only about 8 of that should be needed to complete the factory. Maybe less than that, maybe 7. Which would mean about 15 of it would be applied to the next factory in the queue. So the next factory should be at about halfway complete if the overflow is working properly. But let's see what happens. Factory hasn't been completed. The next factory in the queue is at 0%. So this demonstrated that the overflow for production for buildings on planets, there is no manufacturing overflow into the next items in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and run this a few turns here to get a lot of production generated. And if you pay attention to this bar, you can see, or if you paid attention to that bar, you could see that the queue issue happened again. Okay, the queue's empty. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with ship production. I'm generating 45 military production per turn. And let's go ahead and build a constructor Mark 1. Again, it's supposed to take 2 turns. The constructor costs how much does it cost? 59, and I'm generating 45.1 per turn, so it should take 2. And if I was to do it, if it was 45 manufacturing per turn for 2 turns, I would have about 30 extra manufacturing to be applied to the second item in the queue, so it would be about half done as well. So go ahead and hit turn. Alright, we are again 75% of the way through. Turn again. The constructor has been created, and the next constructor in the queue has 0 production. So again, there is no overflow happening with the manufacturing on ships. For research, unless I'm misunderstanding how it's actually done, if you want to try to do the same kind of thing with research, so let's go ahead and select accelerated growth. Now it's a little harder with research because you can't see exactly how many research points are needed to complete a tech. Planetary improvement, I didn't do right. Actually, I think I did do it right, but the game is not telling me that all of the research is being applied. Let's just go ahead and hit it. There we go. So it updated. 2 turns remaining. I'm generating 20 research per turn, so that means that the first tech planetary improvement is probably something on the order of 45 research points. Okay, I've done it again. Still generating 20 research. I am, what, 85% of the way done with this tech. And so that means there probably is about 20% of the research points that's going to overflow. I don't know, between 20 and 50% of the next turn's research points that should overflow into the next technology. Go ahead and hit turn. So it says it's not researching. Go ahead and select the next tech. And accelerated growth has no research points from the previous turn overflowed applied to accelerated growth. Well, that, in my opinion, conclusively demonstrates that the bug still exists and that the developers should, at some point, hopefully address it, at least before release. As I had mentioned in my original post, it's something that does bug me to the point where I don't really want to play this game. And it's important because if, going back to the Earth situation where I was building, if I queue up a factory and it's going to take 2 turns, but the first turn it completes 90% of the production, that means in the next turn I will have about 90% of, or about 90% of the second turn's production wasted unless I go in and adjust my sliders. And that is a micromanagement level that I am not fond of. I would rather just be able to queue up a bunch of things and have the planets go ahead and create the improvements without having to micromanage turn by turn whether I'm going to be wasting the vast majority of my production resources. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.